Hello and welcome to another episode of Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. I'm Ricky Chabruggi and my co-host joining me again tonight, Ashley Duff. How you doing, Ashley?
Good. How are you doing?
Not too bad. I think we're bracing for some stormy weather, I think.
I agree. I think it's coming. But I don't, we need the rain. Well, actually, we do and we
Definitely.
don't. The farmers don't need it right now. They're trying to get that wheat dried out so they can get all the wheat cut, but it's awfully dry.
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
been really dry, really hot.
Oh, gosh, I know. But I think if we hadn't have had the wind, we would have been completely miserable these last few days.
hmm Yeah, and we got a full show tonight and joining us
Too.
tonight. And who's joining us tonight?
We have Sherry Russell joining us tonight. She is Dennis Lushbaum's mom. So she will be joining us from Arkansas.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Glad to have her on tonight to talk about Dennis's case.
Oh, yep.
All right.
Have her on.
Okay, and who are we leading off with tonight?
We are starting off with Michaela Page. Michaela went missing from Kansas City, Kansas on June 2nd of 2020. She is 17 years old. Michaela is 5'2", weighs approximately 160 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information on Michaela's disappearance or know of her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or KBI at 785-296-4017. Michaela, honey, we hope that you're safe and sound. And if you're watching or have friends watching, just please reach out to someone and let us know that you're safe and sound.
Definitely. And if you're needing help of any kind, you can get a hold of the National Runaway Hotline. You can go to their website, 1-800-runaway.org, or you could call 1-800-RUNAWAY, and they'll be glad to help you with whatever you need help with.
Yes. Yeah, just please get in touch with someone.
Definitely. No matter how small of a piece of information you think it might be, call that in, please. And let's try to get these kids back to a safe place.
Yeah. We don't want them on the street. That's not a safe place for them to be. So if that's where so many of them end up on the street, and we've got resources we can help. So
yeah,
we just want
definitely. There's so much going on out there right now that the streets are no place to be.
No, they're not. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Agree. Yep.
Yeah.
Who are we going to second?
I believe we are going to Jennifer Lancaster. It's kind of an older case. Been missing from Topeka, Kansas since May 12th of 2000. She's missing with her two daughters, Monique Smith and Sydney Smith. They've been missing, since May 12th, 2000. Jennifer was 18 at the time she went missing. She'd now be 40. She's 5'5", 100 pounds, blonde hair, blue eyes. One of her daughters, Monique Smith, she was 6 weeks old when they disappeared. She'd now be 20. She was 1 foot 10 inches tall, 9 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. And the other daughter, Sydney, she was 1 year old at the time they went missing. She would now be 21 years old. She was 2'6", 22 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She was last seen in Topeka. She and her two daughters left home at approximately 8 o'clock to go to a male acquaintance's home. They never arrived, and none of them have been heard from again. Jennifer's vehicle was found abandoned in an apartment complex a week later. As I mentioned, Sydney was 1 year old at the time of her disappearance. Monique was 6 weeks old. Both girls are of Caucasian and African American descent. As I mentioned, Monique was 1 foot 10 inches tall, 9 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. And Sydney, she was 1 year old. She would be 21 now, height 2'6", and she weighed 22 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Jennifer and or her girls' disappearance, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9400 or 785-368-9474 or 785-368-9551 or call KBI at 785-296-4017. And please, any little bit of information that you might have may, really be huge to investigators out there looking. So please, call in whatever you have, whatever you know, and let them know. And if you're not comfortable doing that, I mean, you can get a hold of Ashley on her page or myself on my page, and we'll see if it gets to where it needs to go to.
Yeah. Yeah. This case is 20 years old. We need to, we need to get some kind of answers.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
They're both a couple of cute little girls, and hopefully they've grown up into beautiful young women, and hope they're all okay.
I hope.
Just like to find out.
Yeah, I hope they are okay. But just like Ricky said, if there's any little thing that somebody might think of, again, it might seem like something so little, but this is a 20-year-old case. I mean, any case is too old, honestly, whether it's
Definitely.
1 day or 20 years. But this is that I hope that they are all okay. And so anyway, if somebody knows anything or witnessed anything, just please get a hold of KBI or Ricky's page or my search group page, which is Missing in Kansas, Megan's Voice. Would love to see some kind of closure here.
Definitely.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and bring Dennis's flyer up, and we'll talk about that first.
Sure.
Then we'll bring Sherry in.
There we go.
Okay. Dennis, or Jay Leschball Jr. Dennis went missing from Iola, Kansas on August 13th, 2017. His age at the time of disappearance, he was 44 years old. He would now be 47 years old. Dennis is 5'6" from 5'6" to anywhere from 5'8". Whoa. Where'd it go?
Uh-oh. We lost his flyer.
Uh-oh. There we go.
There we
go. Anyway, Dennis is anywhere from 5'6" to 5'8". He weighs approximately anywhere from 180 to 200 pounds. Dennis has dark hair and blue eyes. If you have any information on Dennis's case, please call Allen County Sheriff's Office at 620-365-1400. Okay.
And got word that Sherry is standing by.
Yep, Sherry, you want? Hey.
Hey, how are
Sherry.
you? Hello.
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. Thank you so much for taking time to join us and to talk about Jay's, disappearance. We really appreciate you being here. So thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
You're welcome. So Dennis was camping when he went missing. He was camping with his girlfriend, correct? And they went off a road near Neosho River, just outside of Chinook, Kansas. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And they'd had an argument, and Dennis left in his van. And then the van was found almost 2 weeks later, abandoned approximately 5 miles from where they were camping in a field on Arizona Road, close to Neosho County and Allen County line, on the Allen County line side. That's kind of a mouthful.
Yes, that's correct.
And the girlfriend was the last to see Dennis. Is that what your understanding is? I mean, to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, no one else has seen him.
Okay. And something I want to mention real quick, I guess I should have mentioned this earlier, but for Dennis has surgical scars on both shoulders and a tattoo on his right shoulder blade. and he had a plate surgically implanted in his back. So just so that people are aware of that too. Now, Sherry, wasn't Dennis's wallet found? It was found in the van, correct?
It was found in the van by the girlfriend.
Okay. And then, to the best of your knowledge, was that van searched by
It was
law
not
enforcement?
searched. No. The police, when they found it, they looked through the windows, didn't see any blood. That's what they told me. They saw no blood, and called the other owner and released it.
And was this Allen County or Sheriff's Office, or who was that you were dealing with there?
Allen County Sheriff's
Allen County.
Department.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they didn't go through the vehicle. They found his wallet, or someone found his wallet inside the vehicle and just decided not to go through it.
Well, they didn't even find it. They just released it. And then when the other owner got it back, his girlfriend cleaned it out, found his wallet, his phone, his ATM card, and she turned it into the police department.
Oh, she did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I know that there have been a few searches for Dennis, and nothing has been found yet. I also know that there was a tip that was called in directly to law enforcement on a possible exact location.
Yes.
And to your knowledge, and to my knowledge, that location has not been searched.
Not to my knowledge. I'm not getting any communication from the Allen County Police Department, whether they're going to follow up on it. If they did, they're not telling me.
Right. And I know that it's been difficult for you, and this whole situation extremely difficult, but then to not have this law enforcement communicate well with you has been, I'm sure, extremely frustrating.
Frustrating is not even the word that comes to mind.
I'm sure. I am very sure. Yeah, I can't even imagine what you are going through.
Very angry sometimes.
I don't blame you, because I know that you've called and emailed, and they're just not responding back to you now.
Nope. After a lot of things happened after several months, and people getting on their Facebook page and saying, hey, why are you not communicating with the family, and several things, they did finally start calling me once a month. And I think that lasted 3 months.
Okay.
But they refused to call in the KBI. And I contacted the KBI, and of course they won't come in unless there's a body.
Well, they will come. Right. And exactly. Yeah. So if Allen County would just simply request they come in, they'll be right there.
They would have, yes.
Yeah.
But Allen County would not request it. They told me that they talked to the KBI at one point, and the KBI said, you guys have done all you can do. We couldn't do any more than you did. Which I don't know. I don't believe that the KBI would say that.
Right. I'm sorry that, they aren't communicating well with you, that there's no excuse in the world for that. They need to be communicating well with you. I'm sorry about that. That's terrible.
I think that this is unusual for this to happen.
Oh, I know it's not. There was a case, Colton's case, Rick. You remember we talked about Colton's case a few weeks ago, and in fact, I was telling you about that, Sherry, yesterday when we talked, and I let my mouth kind of overload itself on here. But you know what? It didn't bother me one bit, because we were at that moment we were talking about Russell County Sheriff's Office, because they didn't do anything. They had a confession and they're just letting these people, walk. So
Hmm.
anyway, it goes on so often, and I can't imagine how you feel as a mother of a missing person. I can't imagine, um, but it goes on very often.
Well, you feel like your child doesn't matter.
Hmm.
And that's
Right,
painful because he matters to me.
Hmm.
right, right.
But
Absolutely.
um, they
Yeah.
said within a few days of when his van was found, unless someone gave them a tip, they weren't even going to look.
Hmm.
But
That's too bad.
somebody would point them in the right direction. Of course, they would follow that lead.
Hmm.
Well,
But unless
and the
someone
bad
gives them
thing,
that, but then they now have a lead and are not doing anything.
exactly right, exactly. And uh, missing search, missing person search team of Kansas, which is Sue's search group. And Sue and I are great friends, and
Hmm.
they went out, I believe, 3 times um, so far. But again, it goes back to they're kind of at a standstill because it goes back to this one tip being called in on this particular location, and none of us can get there
Right.
to that location. So the police need to, honestly, in Dennis's case, do their damn job. So because they're the only ones that can go to that location.
Well, they've been offered help from search teams,
Mm-hmm.
and they refuse.
Yeah.
They could be called. They told them they could be called out any moment. Just let them know, and they would get there.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, nothing.
Right.
No communication with the search teams either.
I know. I know. Yes, I know. Um, anything that you want to say, Sherry?
Oh, I want to say a lot,
Okay, you just talk to us.
but
What do you want to add?
I will. I'll be nice.
You don't have to be. I'm here to tell you, you don't have to be nice.
Well, I'm just so frustrated with not just Allen County Police Department, but with most of the police departments out there. And it's so frustrating going through this and knowing that other people are going to be going through it. And like me, they're not going to get any guidance. When someone that you love comes up missing, you don't know who to call. You think that you can call the police and you're going to get some kind of action.
Right.
And you get very little action. They put a bolo out.
Right.
Someone found the car. Otherwise, it probably wouldn't have been found for quite a while longer.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the police departments, a lot of them are small in Kansas and they're not trained, but I just get frustrated because this is going to happen again and again. And people, how do we get the word to people that they need to call search teams? They need to contact people that, like you, that care, and will give them some guidance.
Right.
Because when it happens, you don't know where to go.
Mm-hmm.
You think the police are your answer because that's what we've always been raised to believe.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that's
And
not the whole answer.
and you're correct, Sherry. It's not. It's hard to get the word out about our search teams. It's very hard. And then when we offer our services, sometimes they are very receptive, and other times they are like with Dennis. No thanks, we don't want your help. Well, they don't have time to do everything, you know.
No.
So why not let us come in and help? We're trained, we're experienced. So yeah, why not let us come in and help?
I don't know. To me, maybe it's a matter of control. But
Mm-hmm.
they have the choice of being with the search teams and knowing exactly what's going on.
Correct. Yes.
So I don't
And
know.
I
It's just so frustrating because you don't know what they're thinking. And they're politicians. If you talk to them, they talk circles around me
Yeah.
to the point that I don't even know how to respond sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
But it's really sad when you go in and your son's been missing for 3 weeks, and they're like, well, his lifestyle, is dangerous. Yes, I know his lifestyle's dangerous.
It doesn't
But
make him any less important.
No, it does not.
it should not be important. And they
Nope.
asked me, do you think he's alive? And I said, no, honestly, I don't. And they shrugged their shoulders and said, there you go.
And then that's just it.
There you go. They shrugged their shoulders.
No.
Oh.
Very
That's sad.
uncalled for. It is very sad. And, unfortunately, you're not the only parent that has to deal with this. It's, I can't imagine y'all's frustration and anger. And I'm sure that doesn't even touch on it, but
I
Yeah.
can't even
Yes.
explain it. The fact that he was in his 40s, it makes it a little different than a child, even for a mother, because he did live a dangerous lifestyle. I knew it could come to this kind of a conclusion, but
and
he
just
wasn't
not
really prepared.
and
But
not to interrupt you,
Go
Sherry,
ahead.
when you say a dangerous lifestyle, just so the people out there watching, Dennis did experiment with drugs. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, he was addicted to meth.
Okay. Just so that other families that are watching,
Yeah.
they understand what we're referring to.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you do expect that something bad could happen when someone's dealing with meth on addicted. But still, and there's so many people out there that are going to face this very same thing. And so,
Yes.
my heart's broken for him, but then at the same time, I think about these other people and what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it just makes me feel helpless, both for finding him and putting a stop, helping other people, getting the
Yes.
word out there that there are places to go. You don't have
Yes.
to wait 2 years to find someone that will help you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Now let's talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit more about Dennis. Well, first of all, I did have another question here. Now, to your knowledge, Sherry, did Dennis have any enemies?
Not to my knowledge, not that I know that would want to hurt him.
Okay.
I do know some of his acquaintances could be dangerous.
Sure.
When you're buying it, and at one point, I'll admit he did deal at one point. So he did have some people in his life that could be dangerous. But I don't know of anyone that disliked him enough to do something to him.
Sure. I mean, I'll try to refer to him as Jay. As I'll do my best there.
It's okay.
Because I know that you call him Jay. So, but just look at his pictures. I mean, he looks like such a fun, loving guy.
He is. He was. He's had a great sense of humor. He was a hard worker. Never had any children of his own, but he raised a stepson. Was a good father. He had some great characteristics. He was smart. And witty. He could just get you in stitches.
Really
Sweet. Yeah, really sweet guy.
Nice. And now Jay is an only child, correct?
Yes.
Okay. How did he like that growing up? Because I'm an only child too. So I'm just curious, how did he like that growing up?
I think he liked it fine. He never asked for a brother or a sister. I had my nieces and nephews on the weekends and raised one niece for 4 years. So I don't think he really had the same mentality that he was just an only child because he always had to share me with the other ones.
Okay.
So he did good with it.
That's good. That's good. And Jay is a Navy veteran too, correct?
Yes,
And he was in for 2 years.
2 years. Mhm.
Okay, that's what I thought. And I'm assuming that you and I'm assuming. Sorry, I was turning my phone off. I thought I had it off. I assume that you and Jay are very before he went missing are very close, or were very close.
We were very close all of his life, except probably the last year when the meth addiction took over,
Okay.
because that changes their whole personality. They cut
Sure.
ties with family members. I hear it all the time,
Mm.
and they because they don't want you to know what they're doing, even though
Mhm.
you know. But yeah, we were very close. We spoke every week,
Good.
even that last year when things became strained between the two of us.
I'm sorry for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, did Jay camp quite a bit? Was he an avid camper?
He wasn't really an avid camper, but he did like being outside. And so he spent a lot of time on the river or at a local pond, wherever there was water and trees. He loved outside. But I can't say that he was really a camper. He didn't get a tent and go out in the woods like a lot of people. They just kind of went out. He would go out for hours and sit under a tree, look at the sky, watch the birds. But
Really?
they did go. Him and his girlfriend went out to the river quite a bit. I believe.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. And the river is a very peaceful place. I love going to the river myself.
Hmm.
Um, when when was the last time that you spoke with Jay?
I think probably the weekend before he came up missing, because I did try to call him that weekend and he didn't pick up. But I found out later he didn't have any um, minutes on his phone, so
Okay.
he couldn't communicate.
Okay. And when was the last time that you saw him?
I had gone in June. The lady that he and his girlfriend lived with had called me and said he's not doing good. He's falling a lot and um, just not doing good. You might want to come check on him and see if you can do anything. And so late June or July, I went and stayed for 3 days and spent some time with him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'm sure that that was means more to you now than maybe you realized then.
I think I realized it then. He was
Did
not
you?
doing well. Um, I spoke to him about his meth use and how bad he looked because he looked really bad. And I told him, you have to quit. And the last thing I thought when I saw him is this may be the last time I ever see him because
Oh,
he was just that bad.
wow. Sherry, do you know when they found the van, was there any obvious reason that it would have been abandoned?
No,
You know, was there any mechanical issues, a flat tire, flat tires or anything of that nature,
it did
to your
have a
knowledge?
flat tire. But I think they drove it back into town, even though I don't think it was flat all the way, and they were able to drive it back into Iola and get gas. There was enough gas to get it back into Iola. So, um, At first, I thought he might have abandoned it there, but then on the other hand, I didn't think that the way it was left was like he would do, because he would just get mad and throw the keys away. That was more like
Okay.
what he would do.
Okay.
And the keys were in it. It was unlocked. Everything was still in it. Some items were behind the vehicle. The grill had been taken out, a small grill, which made it look like he had maybe planned on staying there, or it was set up to look like he was there.
Okay.
That's all speculation. We have no clue.
Right. Right. Um, and this wasn't a campsite. This was literally on a road. Actually, no, it wasn't on a road, was it? It was on someone's property, wasn't it?
It was on out in a field. It was just a short distance off of the road, kind of parked back in a grove of trees, like someone he had wanted to hide, or
Right.
someone wanted to hide it.
Right.
And I believe the farmer went out to check his field and saw the van and called it in.
Yeah. And now Jay, he doesn't have any mental health issues or anything like that, does he? Or, I mean, is there a possibility he might be somewhere and he doesn't remember who he is?
I don't believe so. It's as long as it's been, he would have contacted me. The possibility of him having amnesia, or that's always a possibility, but I don't believe it is. I don't.
Sure.
I just don't think so. He was bipolar.
Okay.
But he didn't always take his medication. So.
Okay. Well, Ricky, do you have any questions for Sherry?
Do you know if the sheriff's office has any working theories on what might have happened to him or anything?
No, I don't believe they do. If they do, they haven't shared them with me.
Okay.
I
That was
think
really
the
only.
last thing they said to me was they asked other people that use drugs in that area if they had any idea, and he just vanished. So
Right.
that's what they think. He just vanished.
Well, I do hope that either whoever is responsible for what might have happened to him or somebody close to who's responsible knows something will come forward and give that information, so they can find Dennis and he can be brought home.
I would love to find him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And have any private investigators reached out to you, Sherry, or have you reached out to any to get some help?
We did have a private investigator there at one point, and he spoke to the girlfriend. Actually, he has a theory that she gave him a hot shot, and he said that she said that he had walked over to a tree and sat down and died.
But correct me if I'm wrong, hasn't the girlfriend's story changed? I mean, we can't even count that high.
Exactly.
Right.
The only consistent thing that she has said is the last time she saw him was after she got out of the van and he was driving over the hill. That's the only consistent thing. Up until that point, several different things either happened before or happened after. She would say, she would call me and say something, and then she would say, but my timeline is messed up. And they had been high for 5 days, and she just and she would say, well, I don't know if that's the real story or if it's just from the meth and I'm just imagining it. And then she would call and the story would be a little different. Originally there were no people there the whole weekend, and that changed to 2 other people being there and some people showing up for a short time.
Yeah.
but it constantly changes.
Right. If Jay could go anywhere, where would he want to go? Where would he go?
I really I don't know. Um, he was a Kansas boy.
Mhm.
Um, he lived in Arkansas for a while, but I don't think he would want to come back here. So I can't think of where he would go. He never talked about wanting to visit or live anyplace else.
Yeah. What about just, you mentioned earlier that he, liked to go to the river and frequented the river, things like that, places like that. Any other place besides the river that he liked to go to that you
Well,
can think?
he worked all of his life, and so he didn't travel much. Um, and then the last 10 years of his life was pretty much, you know, one drug to the other, and chasing that. And so he didn't talk too much about those things. He would talk about taking off and just going to the mountains, you know, and getting his head straight because he would try to quit doing the drugs and be successful for a while. Um,
Right.
he was
Now,
religious, and that
sorry,
he believed strongly in God. That helped him a lot, but
that's
it was
great.
never enough to get him over the hump for a long time.
Hmm. Yeah. Are you still in contact with the girlfriend?
She does contact me occasionally.
Does she?
Yeah, not very often, not like she did in the beginning, but once in a while I'll get a message from her. Hi, how you doing?
Hmm. Yeah. Um, can you describe to us uh, a normal day with Jay on a good day, on one of his good days?
Oh, it would be fun. Like he lived with me for a while and was doing good, and get up and he'd cook breakfast and do the dishes and head off to work and do a day's work and come back in, and he loved to cook. He loved to barbecue, and that was one of his passions, was cooking. And just be funny and caring, and if you were down in the dumps, he was the first one to say, get out of there, you got a better place to go than down in the dumps.
So very positive.
He was
That's great. That is
yeah,
great.
he was a
Well,
good guy.
that's awesome. Sherry, is there anything else that you would like to say?
Not that I can think of. We pretty
Well,
much
I
covered a lot tonight, I think.
absolutely. And, again, thank you so much for joining us. I know, you would do anything to get your son's name and information out there. And,
Yeah.
if there's anything that, Sue and I are great friends. She has her search group. I have mine. Um, if there's anything that we can do, right now we're all just at a little standstill because of where this particular location is. But we're going to do a little work on that together. Her and I work a lot together, so we're going to try to dig our hands in a little bit deeper and see if there's something else that we can do there to help. So you and I will be in touch. And thank you again so much for joining us. We really appreciate all your time.
No,
Yes,
well,
thank
thank
you.
you. I appreciate you guys and everything that you do.
Thank
And
you.
for Sue, I love Sue.
Yes, she's awesome. She is one of my very dear friends. I love her to
She's a
pieces.
sweetie.
We have been on so many searches together. that that's
Yeah,
actually how we first met.
she's the best.
She's awesome. So,
Mhm.
Sherry, sorry for what you're going through, um, but we'll do our very best to help bring some closure to you.
I appreciate that.
You're very
Yes.
welcome. And we'll be in touch.
I'll make sure I
Okay.
keep his flyers shared.
Yeah.
Keep it bumping it back up periodically.
I will. I appreciate you guys.
You're welcome. Thank you for
Sherry,
being
so
on
much.
tonight.
Thank you. You guys take care.
You
You
too, and
too.
I'll talk to you soon. She's a sweetheart, isn't she?
Yes,
And
she is. I really feel for her.
I do too. And I can't imagine as a mother going through,
I
what
couldn't
these
either.
parents go through.
I
It
couldn't
doesn't
either.
matter the age of the child.
Yeah.
Sue, love you, Sherry and Ashley. We love you. Uh, but yeah, I can't imagine. So it's
Couldn't
heartbreaking.
either. I couldn't
Yeah.
either.
Yeah. And just even Sherry having the what's the word I'm looking for? Just the courage to come on.
Mhm.
I know she's been on another podcast before too, really getting Jay's case out there, and she is on the phone. She's constantly emailing Allen County, and she just isn't getting anywhere anymore with them. So, and that's really too bad. It should
Yeah,
not
it
be
is.
that way. Even
No.
if they don't have any answers for her, they
Yeah.
need to at least acknowledge her and tell her we
Definitely.
don't know anything new yet.
And kind of like we touched on too, it shouldn't matter what kind of a lifestyle he had and was living. He's still somebody's son.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. That is correct. So, we wish her and everybody the very best. And our end goal, of course, is to bring closure to everyone, make sure that everyone is brought home in whichever, however we are able to do that.
Right. And after the show, I'll bump his flyer back up to the top of the page so it's easy for everybody to share. And I want to see it really get shared and let everybody, get his face all over the place.
That's right. That is right. So anyway, Sherry, thanks again for coming on. And,
Yes, thank you.
You are a very, very strong woman, and we are going to do our best to bring Jay home and bring you closure.
And we are hoping to have more guests like her on future shows to share their stories as well.
Yes, I have another one like that.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah.
That will be for Tuesday's show if they're available.
I will check with her and see.
Okay.
I know that she will soon.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, shall we?
All right. Well, moving on to Brianna.
Yeah.
Yep. And Brianna, she is missing from Jackson County, Kansas since May 25th, 2020. She's 17 years old. 5'6", 100 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. She is considered a missing endangered runaway. If you have any information regarding her disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Jackson County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 785-364-2251 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And Brianna, if you're needing some help out there, you can get a hold of the National Runaway Hotline at 1-800-runaway.org, or you can call the 1-800-runaway number and they'll be glad to assist you.
Yes, please, Brianna, let someone know that you're safe. We just want to help. We don't want you out there on the streets or in any danger. So to all of you kiddos that are out there, we just want to make sure that you're safe and sound.
Definitely. And was it our last one for tonight, or are we?
I think so. I don't know.
No. All right, and this is Clay Allen Foreman. He went missing from Lake Topawingo, Missouri. I hope I said that right. Been missing since December of 1978. He was 17 at the time of his disappearance. He would now be 59. He was between 5'8" and 6 foot tall, weighed about 160 pounds. He had brown hair and brown eyes. Right before he went missing, he dropped out of high school and got into some trouble with the law. I was told he's made some bad choices, but he was a good kid. If you have any information regarding Clay's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 816-377-1801.
Gosh, that's an old case too.
That is like 1978.
Yeah.
And we have one more that's a more recent, and it's not a missing, it's an unsolved homicide.
Trenton.
Yeah, let's see if we can get his flyer up there.
Yeah, that's a sad one.
There we go.
There. Trenton Phillips. Hang on. Was 21 from why can I read
Excelsior.
that?
Excelsior.
Springs.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was found with a fatally shot gun wound. Wait, hang on. In the Price Chopper parking lot located at 917 North Ash Avenue in Liberty, Missouri, across from the Pleasant Valley Baptist Church.
Mm-hmm.
The shooting occurred on May 8th,
June 8th.
2020. Or sorry, June 8th. Why can I read tonight? I don't know what my problem is. I don't think I need glasses, but maybe I do. Excuse me. He was found June 8th, 2020, around 5:15 p.m. It is believed that Trenton was a victim of an attempted robbery. Police are looking for an adult white male suspect that was driving a dark sedan. If you have any information regarding Trenton's case, please call Kansas City, Missouri Police Department Homicide Unit at 816-234-5043, or please call any tips to 816-474-8477. There is a $30,000 reward for any information leading to an arrest in Trenton's case.
And I do have an update real quick on that. I just was researching that because I remember seeing a piece of information on more specific on the car. But I'm seeing now that a 20-year-old man's been charged in his death. Blade Elliott was charged in Clay County with second-degree murder, 2 counts of armed criminal action, and first-degree attempted robbery in connection with his shooting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
and they
very
set
nice.
his bond at $1 million. I just looked at it.
Good.
Yeah.
Good deal.
So it's a good deal.
Well,
They did make an arrest in his case. Good.
Good. Yeah. I mean, that's sad about Trenton, obviously. Maybe it will give his family a little bit of closure with that person being charged with murder. So
we're glad to see some closure in that case.
me too. Me too as well. Well, I think that was a great show, and we're trying our best to just make it better and better each week, and keep getting all of these victims' names out there and their faces out there. Keep them out there. We're doing our best with boots on the ground on our end here,
right?
And you're getting their flyers made, and we all meet up and just collaborate together, and
right.
So
got some other things in the work that'll be being posted up soon on the page and stuff. So we'll keep watching for that.
Yep, we've got some new things going on, and we are going to. We're switching up the time on the show. It'll be 8 p.m. Instead of 9 p.m.
We decided to do 8 o'clock because we got to talking about it, and kind of decided that 9 o'clock might be a little bit late for folks that are, getting kids for bed, get ready for bed, and things like that. So we decided to bump it back to 8 o'clock to maybe make it a little bit more accessible for more people, hopefully.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. So new and exciting things coming, and we're working with a great production team, and they keep it going, and they're the brains behind this.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so
I really got to thank them for this, because it was something I wanted to do, just didn't know how to go about doing it, and it wasn't for the producer, it wouldn't be in existence. So I owe a lot to him for that.
Yes.
And
No,
then now the
Derek and
team that they've
Kathy,
assembled, yeah,
the
and
whole
now the
and the
team
whole
that's
team.
assembled, yeah,
Yeah. We don't just have two back there. There's I don't know how
Mhm.
many exactly,
I
but
mean,
there's several, and it's growing. So we
yeah,
appreciate what
they're
each and every.
bringing in some script writers to help us, make things flow smoother as far as presenting the cases, transitioning from one to the other, that kind of thing. So trying to step
Yes.
up the quality of the shows as well.
Yep. Absolutely. So
Definitely.
anyway, well, everyone have a great week. Well, it's almost over, so everyone have a great weekend. Oh,
Yeah.
and to all the fathers out there, happy Father's Day, Ricky. Happy Father's Day on
Thank
Sunday.
you. Yeah. I have to work, but hey.
Well, anyway, the happy Father's Day to all the
Thank
fathers
you.
out there. Yep, you're welcome. And we will see you all next Tuesday. Please keep in mind, please remember, if you have any information, any little tips, or any little thing at all, then please message Ricky's page, or please message my search group page if you want to reach out to us, if you want our help in finding your loved one. Please reach out. So anyway, we're here to help, and that's what we do.
Definitely. I follow the Kansas Missing and Unsolved page. Follow Megan's Voice page. Make sure everybody knows that both pages are out there.
Yes, please. Yep. All right, everyone have a great weekend. We will catch you all next Tuesday.
All right.
All right, see ya.
Well, I don't think it, I thought it, that's different. I said what I said and I meant it, or lamented. Words given weight without thought in a person, the way that I talk and the way that I ought to be able to pause and to say that the fault can be placed on my arms. To display full assault, to disgrace in this arm. Pray for the day they could wait for the calm. You can't control the storm, only weather it. Whether it's 5 weeks and 5 days of rain sideways, or scorched earth, search for death or water left with all the thorns, with the petals gone.